Hello, race fans. I'm back for another episode to share with you some things that I've collected over the years. And today we're talking about racing books, and I'm going to show you a few pieces of racing art that I have. Start off with this t-shirt. This is one of my cherished items, depicting multiple world champion Ayrton Senna, one of my favorite, if not the favorite driver I've ever been a fan of. Love this t-shirt. I really don't wear it anymore. This is in my collectibles storage. So today was a special day. I broke it out just for this video. I forgot the artist who painted this originally. I think his last name's Patterson or Peterson. I should have looked it up, but I didn't. Anyway, let's jump into the books. Do you have racing books? Racing books are cool because it's fun to kind of go back over the years and look at them, and you know they're really such a snapshot in time. I like to sit down with them. I break them out, once a year, and I'll flip through the pages, and it's a great way to reminisce about racing history and those good old days of the golden age or second golden age of auto racing. This one here is called High Octane, the fastest auto racing series in the world by Melvin Record. And on the cover of it, it has Jacques Villeneuve and who's that? That looks like Paul Tracy in the Penske. Is that Paul? Yeah, that's got to be. That looks like Paul Tracy. This has great photography in it from that era. Let's see. Let's pick out a page here. Here's Mario in the Newman Haas car. High Octane. So where do you get these books? Well, you can get them on Amazon. Here's a great picture. This is, another one, Paul Tracy in the Penske. You can get you can pick these things up very inexpensively, used and in good condition on Amazon. It's one of those wonderful things about the internet these days. I actually got these all the hard way because these all came back from the 90s and 80s, and a couple of them from the 70s. Maybe one from the 70s. But, I'd get them at bookstores and at races. Sometimes there were vendors at races that sell this kind of stuff. But nowadays you can just go on Amazon or eBay and pick these things up. This one here you could probably find for like $5 on Amazon. And it's worth every penny. If you're a fan of that era, it's just really cool to sit down and go through and look back at what a fantastic period that was. Fantastic drivers, cars. Love it. Another kind of book that I really enjoy are these, like these encyclopedias. Here's the Concise Encyclopedia of Formula One. And it takes you through from the first creation and formation of Grand Prix racing 100 years ago to I think this book was published in, let's look it up here. See when this was published. 98. So up until 98. So from the beginning of Formula One to at least 97. Let's see what kind of picture. And it just takes you year by year. Let's find a cool picture here. Oh, how appropriate. There's a picture of Senna in the Lotus Renault. These are also a great way to just sit and, just page by page and just lose yourself in remember those great years of auto racing. Let's see what else we got. Great Racing Cars of the World. Who's on the cover there? Oh, there's good old Nige. Red number 5. This book here has, wow, nice pictures. So this is all very car specific, you know, so it's giving details of the engines and the technology behind it. Huh. This even has drag cars in it too. How about that? Very cool. I haven't looked at this one in a while. I have to break it out and check it out. What do we have here? Michael Andretti at Indianapolis by none other than Michael Andretti himself. You didn't know he was an author, did you? Yes. Yes, he is. Man of many talents. It's not a thick book, but oh, that's a cool. Wouldn't be complete without an overhead shot of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, right? You got to have that. And of course, the Andretti boys. Great picture. If you're into Michael Andretti and the Andrettis, it's a must-have. A must-have. Speaking of the Indy 500, this one's called The History of the Indy 500. I wonder what it's about. I bet you it's about the history of the Indy 500. With foreword by Johnny Rutherford. Nice big pages and big full page photography on there. That looks like Emerson Fittipaldi down there. And the Penske. AJ Foyt. Rick Mears, Johnny Rutherford, Danny Sullivan, good old classic heroes of the Indy 500. Neat book. Let's see. Did I already show this one? So I already showed you the Great Racing Cars of the World. This one's called Classic Racing Cars. Grand Prix and Indy. Let's see what kind of pictures they have in here. Delage, Vito. So this goes way back. This goes back to the start of auto racing. Miller Straight 8s. Alfa Romeo, Tipo B. Beautiful, beautiful cars. Let's show you. Wow. Look at some of the photographs there. Classic racing cars. That's a neat book. I'll save a couple of these for. I haven't looked at these in a long time. They've been sitting in a box. What's this? Oh yeah. So with me being one of the world's biggest Senna fans, anything Senna related, I got to snag up. So, Ayrton Senna, 1 year on. I bought this in '95, right when it came out. I got this at a race. A vendor was selling it at one of the races. Let's take a look in here. Beautiful full page photography. Nice stuff. A must for any Senna collection out there. Here is another one of those kind of encyclopedias of motor racing. The Checkered Flag, 100 Years of Motor Racing by Ivan Rindel. Forward by Nigel Mansell. I believe they have a few iterations of this, a few editions. I actually found this one on Amazon. I found a paper, but this is a hardback. I found a paperback. They wanted like $150 for it. I don't know what the hardbacks are going for, but this is a really neat, fascinating encyclopedia. It not only has beautiful photography in it, but also artwork, racing artwork. Highly recommend if you can get your hands on one. I saw Amazon was selling some used versions of this. Really, like $10-15. Beautiful old Ferrari. And this guy here, this one I went over in my first episode. This was a childhood book given to me by my father. And if you want to know the details about this cool old book, I got this in like 73. Check out my first episode because I give the details on that one. I'm going to kind of skim over that. What else do we have here? Another Cine book. This one is by Keith Sutton. Keith Sutton was a photographer. I don't know if he was classified as Ayrton's personal photographer. I'd have to look into that a little bit more, but I know he was very good friends with Ayrton, and he put out this book that just has spectacular photography all through Ayrton's career, from Formula Ford to Formula Ford 2000 into F1, throughout his teams in F1. Absolutely beautiful book, beautiful photography. A must-have. I sound like a broken record, but a must-have. Actually, this is funny too. I picked this one up. I thought it was a different book. It's got a different dust cover on it. It's actually the same book, just with different dust cover. So if you want one, hit me up. We'll make a deal. Let's see, where am I going to put this stuff? And the last book I have, nope, it's not the last book, I lied. Here is the CART Official Champ Car Yearbook from 99 to 2000. So it's got every single detail you'd ever want from the 99 to 2000 FedEx Championship Series, or CART, however you want to call it. These you can find, of course they have them for each year back in the 90s. I'm not sure when they stopped making these, but if you're a fan of that series and that era, do yourself a favor and try to find some of these yearbooks, because they are a perfect way to capture that whole era. And then last, I'm saving my favorite for last. It's a paperback, and it's Ayrton Senna's Principles of Race Driving by Ayrton himself. So if you want to learn to drive like the master, here it is. He puts it right, shows you all the apexes. How about that? It's a detailed book on corner control, acceleration and gear changes. Look how cool that is. How to properly spin out around a corner. I love it. These are pretty rare. Every now and then I'll go out and monitor, just see what people are asking for them. Right now, I found 2 of them on eBay, and they were going for about $250 each. So not bad. This is quite a collector's item here. I doubt I'd ever part with this one. So that's about it for the racing books. So what I'm going to do now is show you a couple of pieces of artwork that I have. This is a signed and numbered lithograph by an artist named Andrew Kitson, painted in 1991. It's depicting the Spanish Grand Prix with Senna and Nigel Mansell battling wheel to wheel. And Mansell went on to win that race. But I thought this was a great lithograph, and I had it framed and matted professionally. Here you can see the signature of the artist. Really cool. The iconic pedestrian walkway over the straight here. I forgot the history on that. I'm gonna have to look that up. It was designed by a famous artist. This bridge here, abstract. Pretty cool. And then my second piece I want to show you is this lithograph here. This is also signed and numbered by the artist, Jerry Gambasini. This is, of course, Senna. And this is one of my prized possessions. I love this piece of artwork. And again, I had it professionally mounted and matted and framed. I just think it's a striking picture. I have not found this lithograph. I've never found another one. I found a bunch of Jerry Gambasini racing art, and I found some signed and numbered lithographs of other cars. One was at auction for $1,500. I don't know if it sold or not, because, asking price is different than sale price, but they were asking $15 for it, and it wasn't framed, mounted and framed. So this one, I have a number on it. The number that would wrench it from my hands, and it's higher than $1,500. But I'm not going to tell you how much higher. But I love that. It's one of my favorite pieces of racing memorabilia. So anyway, yeah, with that, guys, there's a little taste of racing books and racing art. And my hat today is a Jacques Villeneuve hat. I got this way back in the mid 90s. This one is fancy. It has a suede brim here. It's faux suede, but how cool is that? Embroidery, JV. I've never worn it. This is actually the first time I've actually put it on my head. It feels pretty good. So yeah, okay, with that, guys, I'll see you next time. Have a good one, race fans.